So in the last video, we managed to get the printer name and drop down to pull in all live printers on the Windows PC. And now we need to do the paper size and tray because that changes every time you select a printer. So let's see how we do that. The first thing we need to do is every time this changes, we need to pre-fill these in with options. We refresh the available printers on the Fetch Print Profiles, which runs whenever we navigate to the Actions page. And we already pull in a view model that we can populate with all the data. So we should have all the data we need inside of here, or if not, we can fill it with that. We generate the printer name options here in the format we need, which is an observable collection of key value pairs. And then we fill in the printer settings item here. So what we need to observe is the printer name. We need to monitor when this changes, which is what will change when we do the drop down and change the value. And then when that changes, we'll need to set the paper size? The printer size. Oh yeah, we called it printer size when it actually should be called paper size. So let's rename that for a start to paper size. It hasn't renamed it. Let's just go into there, probably because it's a private field. So printer size there needs to be paper size. And paper size options. So we need to basically update the paper size options and the tray source options with the new values every time it changes. Because the way this is currently set up and we're just mimicking it and repeating, we can hook into this items, I presume, property changed. Yeah, so we'll just hook into like the property changed event. That's event, so we can do plus equals, get the sender and arguments, and then what we want to do in here is to only listen out for when the property is the one we expect. So for that we do if the args property name isn't equal to, and then the name of printer name, so it's not that one, it's printer name. So basically, if something changes and it isn't the printer name, we'll just ignore it, we'll just return. So this kind of negates the if, so we don't end up with nested ifs. And then if we hit here, we're now good to say that the printer changed, update paper size and tray. And then this shouldn't be too hard, so we should be able to do printer settings item dot paper size options equals, and then we'll want to do the same kind of clone over here. So if we paste that in, we want a collection again, available printers, and what we need to do is select the available printer first. So we will do dot first or default in case the printer is no longer there. We want to check if the printer's name, there we go, is equal to the printer settings item dot printer name. So that will get us the actual printer name. And what's that complaining about? Just cut that out a minute. Oh, it's a key value pair. So printer name dot value. Still complaining, but I think that's just the return type now. Then after we've done that, we will want to say question mark in case it's null, and then select. Why is this not showing correctly? Let's just delete that and start again. IntelliSense is definitely not liking it today. Yep, there you go. So it just works once you delete that line. And inside there, we'll need paper sizes, and it doesn't look like we've added them. So if we go to the view model, which will be the printer details view model, and inside of here now we need to add the details that we want. So it will be an observable property, and we could have the value in here. So it will be a private observable collection of key value pair. We might as well basically just put it in the format we want. And this will be, IntelliSense is wrong again, paper sizes. So that's the paper size, and then there's obviously a cleaner way of doing that, bad looks. There we go, a collective expression. Paste again. And then you want the source tray as well. So source tray. I guess it's source tray sizes or just source trays. So those we can populate with values once we've done them. We can get them here now. So they're already the correct format, but this could be null because if we don't find the printer, it's null, and this is not nullable. So we just want to do a question mark, and then return a blank collection if it is null. And this is still complaining about something. I've missed a bracket somewhere. Just got to close the bracket. There we go. So probably just put that on one line. There we go. That's easier to see. So that should work. We should basically get a name change when the printer name changes. Then set the paper size options. And then if we do the same again for the tray. So that will be source tray options is same thing. Select the first printer, find it. If it is, then set it to source trays. Otherwise, it's blank. And dereference a possible null value. So with them two in, I think that should be enough to see them. But we actually need to use the printer service to set them. So we've obviously just set the printer name. And now here you can see we can get paper sizes. So what we need to do is actually fill in the printer details view model here. So let's just move this out. Do var printer details view model equals, paste this in, add it here, move that down, and then move this up. And then what we can do here is set the printer, wow, IntelliSense again. This is really bad, this IntelliSense. The printer details view model dot, and now we can set up the paper sizes to equal the document's paper sizes, and we'll need to cast this to the correct format. And I don't think this is easily enumerable, to be honest, with it being a property and a custom collection of an I collection that's inside of system.collections. Copy to account sync, yeah, and you can't enumerate. Yeah, it's an I enumerable. Yeah, it's going to be a bit awkward. So what we'll do is just a for loop, I think. So instead of trying to just do a link expression there, so instead we'll do for each var. Oh my god, this IntelliSense, I definitely need to figure out what they've done to this IntelliSense. It's crippling. Paper size in, that's wrong as well. Print document dot printer settings dot paper sizes. So we can loop each paper size here. And now the printer view model paper sizes dot add. And then here now we can do a new key value pair. So we just do a new. We need a index, and we don't have one, so we'll just have to make one up again. So var paper size index equals 0. Paper size index plus plus, that gives us an index. This can be paper size index. Oh wow, IntelliSense again, look at that, just typed. I haven't even told it to autocomplete and it just auto-completes. This is going to just be a rant about IntelliSense. So there's the paper size index to string, and now this needs to be the actual paper size, which is an object. Why is it an object? Because this is not returning the correct thing. Of course it doesn't. So let's cast it to paper size. And now in paper size, there we go. We have the paper name, width and height. So yeah, just there we go, paper name. That can be easier, can it? Specify created type. Why would I specify created type? It's a strange IntelliSense again. Should automatically know which type it is because paper sizes has the type. I don't understand why it's complaining about that, but okay. Let's just auto-complete that for now so it doesn't complain at us. So that should now cast the paper sizes from the paper size value into, again, a key value pair and set it in the view model. And then we add it to the view model. So let's just leave it at that for now. We'll do the source tray after. Let's see if this works. And that hasn't updated all these options when we renamed either. So this now needs to be renamed to paper size. This to paper size options. Is that it? There we go. So those two needed manually renaming. And if we run this, do we now get the drop down populated? Let's go to here. edit, change name, and no. Let's just check in here then. No, we're not even getting the notify changed. Why is that not firing? Ah, I know why. It's when we open this, we make a copy of the view model, if you remember, so that when we're editing this, it doesn't automatically edit the live view model. So where's that done? Something like copied, I think we call it, is it? There we go, copied profile view model. So when we come to edit it, we make a clone of it from a JSON, serialize and deserialize. So where it's serialized here, we're going to have to reattach after that, just before popping up the dialog. So we might as well just move all the code into this area here, and it will actually then fetch the printers right before opening the dialog. So if we go up, we're going to have to, where are we? Further up here. All of this can move, so we'll move this piece, and in here, paste it there. Then we won't set the printer name options here, we'll do it after serialization. And we need to move all of this property changed. And go down to here and paste it in. And now we don't have an item here, because obviously this is now a serialized thing. So we're going to have to loop all of the values inside of this view model. So we're going to have to do a for each on, wow, that's entirely sense. I'm going to say it all the way through until I figure out why this is doing it. Printer settings item in the copied profile view model.printer settings. So this is now going to loop all of those settings that are effectively all of these. So we're going to have to hook into every single item now, because there's obviously different ones from being serialized. It's not a link where each one's the same item anymore. Then inside of there, we can now move this. So just move that inside, and now we hook in just the same way, and then pop up the dialog. So hopefully, if that is done correctly, oh, we're missing one thing actually. We also need to set the printer name, was it? Yeah, so in here, it's the printer name options, that's it, and it's the printer name options. There we go. So that gives you the initial drop down. Then we hook into when the property changes and set the other two. So I think if everything's gone right, that should finally work. And then we go to actions, pop up. That's now got a drop down. Yep, they've all got drop downs. OneNote, there we go. Now you've got all the paper sizes for OneNote. So if we select letter, change to say Wondershare. Oh, that's now going to complain because I'm guessing letter isn't in this drop down. Letter is in the drop down, but it must be a different value, obviously. Yeah, so when part of that is correct, because when we change printers, we probably want to wipe out the paper size because every printer has a different paper size. But that's obviously working how we want to. Let's update the tray as well. And then every time we change, we will set, and in fact, we also need default here as well. We'll set them all to the first index. Okay, so there's a bit of work to do. The first thing will be in the paper sizes here, where we're adding a new paper size. We'll copy this. Before we do anything, we'll paste it up here and we'll say add default option, because that's something we want where it basically means that it is literally a default. That can be 0. This can start at 1 now, and this can be default is what we do. So that will have the default option there. Let's copy and paste for, I presume, the source tray index. Add a default option to source trays. Yeah, and then in here, this will be source tray, printer settings, paper sources. So this is going to probably be paper source, is it? Yeah. That will then increment there. This will add, and now it will add it to the source trays, the source index, and this will be the source tray dot source name. So basically identical, but we're adding the source tray. We've added the default before, and then finally, every time it changes here, let's we can fill the options, and then after change paper size and source tray to first item. And there may not be items. We can't guarantee there's an item, so we'll also have to double check that. We'll do printer setting items dot paper size equals, and it's going to be the printer settings items dot paper size options first or default question mark, and we'll just put, I guess, a hyphen as there's nothing there. Actually, you can't do that. It has to be a new 0, and we'll do something that indicates it's different than if it was blank. So that is left hand of question mark must be referenced to a nullable. It is. That is a nullable. Key value pair is just going to be blank values, maybe. So okay, let's just leave it like that. It won't crash if there's no items. But I'm not 100% sure what it's going to return. I presume just a double blank string. So it's source tray, same thing. We'll go to the source tray option and select the first. So that should automatically then make sure that every time we change the printer, it resets the other two values. Now we go to actions, edit, pop up. We go to say A3. Do we have tray options? No tray options. Did we do that? Oh, there you go. The Epson one does. So yeah, it is working. But this is the final option or the final issue we have. Change over. Oh, that worked to default. That one didn't work. And that is going to be, it says null, so that is going to be this issue that I thought may or may not be an issue, which is here. So when this is null, I guess what we can do instead then, dot count equals 0 question mark, then we'll do a new 0, and let's just put a hyphen for now so we can see that that's the problem. Otherwise it will be the first, it can't be default then. So let's do that logic instead. Copy all of that over. Set the source tray options. And let's see if that prevents that error. Now we go into here, here, and in fact it should never actually be that, because you should always have default. Yeah, so it's not that. I just thought about it because we always inject default, so there's always something. It can never effectively be null. So what is this error? Yes, then in this binding and the print profile view, it will be crashing maybe on this because we've got the printer size dot value, and if presumably printer size as null, or maybe value as null. So I don't think we can do this because I don't think it's actually valid on a key value pair. It's actually paper size, isn't it? Yeah, paper size. Oh, hang on. It doesn't rename this either. That should be paper size now, not printer size. So for a start, that's wrong, because we renamed it and the IntelliSense didn't fix it for us. So let's just do a full search. Yeah, that's the only place. So that might fix that. So the issue is definitely, for some reason, at some point, the combo box selected item becomes null. Now, I don't know whether that's just some kind of race condition, because we are bound to the item source here. And when this item source changes, I don't know, maybe the changeover changes this to nothing, and then it's nullable for a brief moment before it resets. So we could maybe do a fallback value in there, but the problem is the fallback value needs to be a key value pair, and I honestly can't even remember how you're going to do a key value pair here. I think you'd have to do like a dynamic resource or a static key value pair. Yeah, I can't remember. It's going to get a bit... I don't think you can kind of new up like this in here. I just don't think it's, you know, the syntax is not what I'm thinking. So instead of figuring that one out and doing a fallback, and then the fallback doesn't really help us as such because, well, it just doesn't. It's not going to change the value of this. So for now, because we can always loop back to this, let's just make paper size here. Let's just make that nullable and source tray nullable, and let's see if that fixes the problem. And I presume it will. And then we'll just deal with this at another point. As long as we know in code when we handle it, if this is nullable, it's the same thing as default anyway. We can handle it how we like. The better solution is to figure out why this is happening, but I presume this is going to fix the problem. So tab between, yep, there you go, changed back. Yeah, that problem's now gone. So it's definitely something to do with a transition state between going to new printers and this at one moment briefly becoming null and then the UI not updating as well. Not sure why. I don't think I really care why for now. And I think that solution will work for us. Now we have the printers, we can select the paper size, the tray size, and we can save. And then when we open up, it should remember the settings as well, which it does. It's also not erroring out, which is good. Just try a tray source, save, edit. Yep, everything's restoring and looks like it's all working fine now. So that is the printer dialog. I think fully done. We've got new print action. You can create a new one. You can cancel it, create another one, do something, save it. Oh, the save doesn't work either. Delete, yes, save. Oh, did we not do the save? Oh, no, of course, the save is going to be the thing that we need to do into a database or entity framework. So there's no function for that at the minute. So we can create new, we can cancel, we can delete these, we can edit all these, we can open this. Oh, there's one issue. New print settings, let's just fix that. New print settings as new print item command. So there we go. Oh, we've set the width there. And are you sure you want to delete? Yeah, we've specified stuff. So we can just clear out those defaults. Go to here, new. There we go. So now we can make a new one. Put some info in. Does this actually work is the next question. That's got no info in there. No, so the new also needs doing. So I think what we'll do next is we will make this work, the new print settings dialog, and then we'll finally move on to the entity framework database kind of side to start saving, one, the print settings, and two, all of this settings page. So we can start, saving these things instead of them being dummy values. We can initialize them with some defaults and get an actual database working.